peroxide is the chemistry demonstration by Camille Schrier, Miss Virginia.
Science is all around us. I loved science since I was a little girl, and now I have the opportunity to pursue the career in science that I had always dreamed of. Science is a talent, and it's my mission to show kids that science is fun, relevant, and easy to understand. Now, you've probably seen a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, maybe when you had it cut and used it to clean out the wound. Hydrogen peroxide is a chemical that's breaking down slowly all the time. But have you ever wondered why it's packaged in a brown bottle? It's because the light from the sun speeds up its breakdown, so it's packaged in a dark bottle to protect it from light. But light and time aren't the only things that break down hydrogen peroxide. Catalysts are chemicals that are used to speed up reactions. And what we're about to watch is the catalytic decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. But be careful, don't try this one at home. Now, in my flasks are concentrated hydrogen peroxide, food coloring, and dish soap. I'm about to pour in potassium iodide, my catalyst, which will start the breakdown. Now, this reaction is very simple. It only produces three things: water, oxygen, gas, and heat. The heat is formed from the breaking of the bonds within the hydrogen peroxide molecule, and the oxygen gas is trapped in the dish soap, which forms the foam, so we can see how far the reaction has progressed. Now, the next time that you see a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, I hope you impress your friends with what you learned. And keep an eye out, because science really is all around us.
Thank you, Miss Virginia.
It is my great pleasure right now to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Camille Schrier. Camille has Bachelor of Science degrees in biochemistry and systems biology from Virginia Tech. Now, she's also a PhD student in pharmacology at Virginia Commonwealth. Somewhere in the midst of all of that education, she entered the Miss America pageant. And as her talent you just saw, she performed the catalytic decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Now, you just don't see that talent every day. She is an amazing young woman. She's delightful. You will enjoy hearing from her because you will feel her passion for science. You'll hear her promotion of drug safety, and you will clearly see her advocacy for STEM education. So, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Miss America.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see people. I'm going to take this out. I have to tell you that in my entire experience in being Miss America in 2020, I was really looking forward to being able to travel around the country. We know how that worked out. There was a pandemic. I haven't seen 300 people in a room since probably February of 2020. So I'm really thrilled to see all of you. Thank you for being here. Selfishly, I am so grateful to be around other people, and I'm so happy that I have the opportunity to share my story with all of you. So I'm going to have this. I'm going to try to click this forward. My clicker's not working. Okay, technology. It's not on. Awesome. STEM. Perfect. Okay, so oftentimes I get asked, I'm going to come down here, when I started to really love science, and unfortunately I don't have one of those wonderful stories of some kind of realization moment of when I loved STEM, because this was me when I was in kindergarten. Because it was always what I liked, and it was always what I was drawn to and what I was attracted to naturally. And I was really lucky to have people around me that recognized that and fostered that. Instead of trying to get me to go in another direction, my parents allowed me to be the mad scientist. And I will tell you, you saw that video beforehand of what I did at Miss America, which is kind of a little bit different. I've always been a little different from everyone else. And that can be really uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable if you're a young person, it can be uncomfortable if you're an adult. But learning to love my differences rather than try to be like everyone else was something that was incredibly important to my long-term success. And I look back at this little girl. I was a Girl Scout at the time, and all of the other Girl Scouts in my troop, they wanted to have that Girl Scout vest. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. You get to put your patches on it. Well, that wasn't your only option. You could also get a sash. And for some reason, I was adamant that I wanted the sash. And I was the only girl in my troop to do that. And everyone else would show up to Girl Scout meetings in their vest, and there was me with my sash on. And I think that kind of was a serendipitous thing when I look back and wonder why. I never really wanted to go to summer camp. I wanted to go work in the barn that I rode horses at and shovel the stalls out. That was what I was interested in doing during the summer. And quite literally from day one when I was born breech. I was the wrong way. Like literally, day one, I come out the wrong way. And my hips were dislocated, and that was a testament to the fact that I have a genetic disorder, and so did my mom. And from the day I was born, I knew I was different, but I embraced that. And that's been part of who I am. So I ended up becoming, I went too far, spoiled it. I ended up becoming a really hard-working high school student. And academics never came naturally to me. I had to work my butt off to be successful. And I didn't get teased a lot in school, but the one thing I was teased about was my last name. My last name is Schrier, and there's this idea, or at least when I was in high school, people would get called a tryhard. So I got called the Shrine-hard. Which actually, I look back and I'm like, that's not the worst thing to get made fun of for, because it was actually really accurate. I had to work really, really hard to be successful academically. And I did every single thing that I could to put myself in a situation to be academically, professionally successful. Probably to a fault, because I focused so much on prestige and success that I was really blinded by that and didn't allow myself to think of what I really wanted. So I always had an affinity for science, technology, engineering, and math. And the people around me said, you know what, we need more women in engineering. And engineering is a great career prospect. There are so many jobs for you. You'll have financial security. You probably won't even need a graduate degree to get a really great job and make a lot of money. Well, that was really attractive to me. I was like, sure, let's do it, sign me up. So I applied to 12 engineering colleges around the country and was lucky enough to get into 11 of those and had to choose where I wanted to go. And those of you who have applied to college or maybe have students who are applying to college, you know about the reach schools, those schools that maybe you think you can get into but might be a little bit of a stretch. So I went to a private high school in New Jersey, and I had a college counselor that I was working with, and I got into my reach school. So I call her and I say, oh my gosh, I got into the University of... And she says, oh, they changed their mind. And I said, I'm sorry, what? And she said to me, you know, they only usually take 2 students from our school, and they had chosen a different student, so I'm so excited for you, they changed their mind. And I said, oh, well, my excitement just kind of went away at that point. And that was the best school that I got into. And I'm still kind of excited about it, and I visited. And then I was deciding between that university and another. And I remember talking to one of my professors, and they said to me, where's the choice? Kind of suggesting that the more prestigious school was the one that I should go to. And I look back at those moments, and I realized that everyone around me was kind of telling me what I should do. I wasn't really allowing myself to figure out what I wanted. And even in my high school experience being a STEM student, I remember trying so hard to please everyone. And I was in a high school honors chemistry class in 10th grade. And it was one of the classes I struggled with most. And I remember answering a question one time in class and getting it right, and having that chemistry professor look at me and say, even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes. I remember that. He added me on LinkedIn, which I thought was funny. Do you remember that? So that girl struggled. She moved 12 hours away to a university that she felt like she should go to because it was the highest ranked university she got into. And it was the worst decision I ever made in my entire life. I ended up transferring, from that university after a year and half a semester, came home and actually had to enter mental health treatment because I was at the point where I put so much pressure on myself to be successful that I was physically and mentally unwell. And I look back at that, and I realized that what critically went wrong in that point was that I didn't allow myself to figure out what I liked. And when I think about STEM careers are not easy. Education, STEM degrees are not easy to get. But if you have the passion, you can overcome those obstacles. You can overcome the teacher telling you that you're the blind squirrel getting the nut. You can overcome choosing the wrong university and the wrong major. And if you finally allow yourself to figure out who you are and do it on purpose, that is when you will be successful. And it took me until I was probably 20 years old to figure that out, when I finally allowed myself to feel what I wanted to do. And it was still science. You saw the picture at the very beginning. That was a grown-up version of that little girl, but she didn't know what STEM career was right for her. And there are so many that you shouldn't be limited by a certain amount that you're told has great career prospect. You should want to be an engineer because that's what you've dreamed of your whole life. And it turned out for me, I wanted to be a biochemist. And that's okay. There was nothing wrong with that. So I went to college at Virginia Tech, which was that other school that I was deciding against, actually, at the point that I went to the other university. And it was the best experience I could have had, because I realized I was in a place that was supportive of what I needed mentally and the way that I learned. And I worked my butt off, again, and I graduated. But even still, school was hard for me. I actually got a D in an analytical chemistry class. I had to retake it. I thought the world was ending. But I retook it and I got an A, and I graduated. I graduated with honors, I got into grad school, and it all worked out. But it's interesting because there is this perception in STEM careers that we have to always be a 4.0 student, that we have to get 100 on every exam, and if we don't, that we're not going to have a successful career, and that is just not reality. And when you're in science education, you're learning so much more than just hard sciences. You learn about communicating issues that are difficult to understand. You learn about how to problem solve and critical thinking skills. And those are things that I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to learn, because they led me to a different job that I haven't talked much about. So, how in the world did I end up doing this? If I was that driven science student that was very focused on academics? Well, if I look up here, March of 2019, I'm in grad school, I'm overwhelmed. I'm on Facebook during my lunch break, and I see this little thing pop up on my Facebook: join us for the 2019 sweeps pageant. And I'm like, oh, that would be fun. Now, my mom had asked me when I was a kid if I wanted to do pageants when I was that girl with the bad science. I said absolutely not. Now that changed when I got into high school, and I actually did a few pageants that taught me not necessarily what you think of toddlers and tiaras, but learning how to speak, learning how to interview, how to present myself. I had fun with them, went to college, was like, I'm done with this, I don't need to do this again. Now, Miss America is kind of the Super Bowl of pageants, right? And we think about that, and so I saw this advertisement, and I'm like, oh, this could be kind of fun. How about I do it? It's 2 weeks away. And so I call my mom, and she's like, honey, what are you going to do as a talent? Because there's a talent competition. And interestingly enough, talent at Miss America is pretty, been the same for a long time. Singers, dancers, instrumentalists, women that can twirl batons, and ventriloquism. You didn't hear about any of those talents of mine in the first half of this, because I don't do any of those things, and if I did, no one would want to watch. And one of the things when I think back of my college experience that was so important was figuring out who I was and doing that, not doing something because everyone else told me that I should. So it seemed very out of character for me to take a dance lesson or go and learn how to sing because that's what everyone else had done before. So, what do scientists do when they have problems? They innovate and apply the scientific method quite literally. So I make my observation and I say, okay, there's only about 5 talents that we ever see on the stage. Question, am I allowed to do something else? Yes, as long as it doesn't involve fire or animals, I asked. Do some research. What can I really representative of who I am. So I'm like, maybe I can do a science demonstration. That'd be kind of cool. And I have to experiment. So I go to the first competition, I try it out, I collect some data, I'll share if that was successful or not, you might be able to guess, and then continue down that process. And I think about this is how you solve problems in real world life. And it was something that I applied to my Miss America experience. So this was actually the first time I did this. Look at how tiny that is compared to the video you saw before. That was the first time I ever did elephant's toothpaste. And I like to say that when I have a problem, especially in this particular way, I came with actual solutions to the problem. They just happen to be 35% hydrogen peroxide and also supersaturated potassium iodide. But those were the types of solutions that I was working with, and they really did actually solve the problem. And the reaction of the audience was confused, but it worked. And I actually won that local competition, and I won the talent award, which was really interesting to me. I was kind of blown away. I was like, well, this is cool. I get to go to Miss Virginia. It's in 8 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to Miss Virginia. I'm not going to win. But I have to step up my game because I don't come to play. So I kept improving my approach, and I think that that's important for all of us, even if we find a solution to figure out how we can do it even better. So I brought that to Miss Virginia, and I made that a lot larger. Now I look back at this, and I wish I had my hair tied back and different earrings on, but that's neither here nor there. And not only did I win Miss Virginia, but I won the talent award at Miss Virginia. And I think that talent award meant just as much as actually the crown that I got, because what I always thought was my barrier became my strength. And I think oftentimes that happens in a lot of pieces of our life, if we really allow ourselves to recognize them. And so then I brought it even farther at Miss America. I put my hair back, put different earrings on, and this is actually a photo from that demonstration exactly when I did it, that you just watched at the preliminary competition at Miss America. And I'm only the second woman, in fact I am the second woman to do a chemistry demonstration on the Miss America stage. And I'm the only one to have ever won the talent award at Miss America with a science demonstration. So not only did this demonstration help me win my jobs, but I got the talent award every single time, which blew me away consistently and made some people angry, but I'm just going to tell you I was pretty happy with it. So I ended up winning, which is just crazy to me because I saw a Facebook ad in March, and by December I had become Miss America. I had become the first Miss America to ever win with a science demonstration, the first Miss Virginia to win Miss America in 10 years, and I never thought that I was going to do this. I also had to take 2 years off of my graduate program, and I was like, what is my dean going to think? And he graciously allowed me to take some time off to focus on this. But I look at this photo, and I notice a few things. My hair is pulled back because I had to have lab-safe hair to do the demonstration, and so I won with an updo. And that face is, oh my gosh, I cannot actually believe this happened. But now, I've gotten to serve as Miss America for over a year, and I've learned so much. And the interesting part is, you might have started this thinking that you were coming to see a beauty queen, which is totally fine if you were. But Miss America is not a beauty queen anymore. I quite literally have gotten a job that is almost like a paid internship to my future career success, because being Miss America actually supplemented my STEM career goals in so many ways. If you look at that top box, it says Cooking Up Science with Miss America, which is my mini TV series I did with PBS that I wrote, filmed, and produced in my kitchen during the pandemic. That was a new experience for me. I got to speak about drug safety and abuse prevention, which is my personal social impact initiative related to my career in pharmacy. And then I'm also able to talk to people who are either parents of those who are in recovery, people who have lost loved ones to overdoses, and educate parents and kids about staying safe with medications. That's the real job of Miss America. About 2% of my job is waving in parades, maybe 1%. 99% is doing this, which has become part of who I am. And I think back about being a pharmacy student, and the experiences that I've had as Miss America have given me extracurricular opportunities and ways to strengthen my resume that I wouldn't have had sitting in a classroom if I had not taken that risk. And of all the jobs that I got to get through this, I got to become the science princess. And with all seriousness, having the chance to be around little girls, and I've had little girls that come and meet me dressed up in lab coats with crowns on. Those are the moments that make this job, which can be extremely difficult at times, completely worth it. To have a little girl who wants to be like Miss America, but doesn't just come to me with an evening gown on, but wears a lab coat. Those are the moments where I feel like I've really been able to make a difference. And for all of the little girls and boys that I meet, to show them that a woman with a crown on can be a scientist and make that normal for them is priceless, is completely priceless to me. So these are some of my absolutely very favorite moments. And that was pre-COVID, given the no masks. So when I first decided to compete for Miss America, I questioned whether I could ever do this. Because no Miss America ever really looked like me. I think of Miss America and I think of women who kind of, we hear that song, there she is, Miss America. She's the ideal, right? You think of the woman who has everything, the most popular girl in your school, the woman who is successful, who is everything that you would imagine. But I felt like I was always a little bit different. How could I be Miss America? I don't have these traditional performing talents. I don't want to wear a swimsuit on national television, which was part of my journey as well. And I look at this image of my first week as Miss America. And I encourage you that if you see roadblocks in your life, to rewrite the script, change it, do something different. Don't be afraid to be exactly who you are because you're afraid that you won't be accepted. And that goes for every aspect of your life. Because oftentimes the roadblocks that we see in front of us can actually be our greatest success, because I thought that talent competition would be the reason why I would never even make it to Miss Virginia, but it became my strength and what set me apart. And I think of being Miss America in very much of a business sense, right? I wanted to tell everyone why I could do the job better than anyone else, that I was the product that you needed to be able to advance this organization for an entire year, because I was signing up to be a representative for a year. And being able to show why science was important, why STEM education was important, and why being unique would set you apart has given me so many opportunities to do that. And so I feel grateful that the little girl at the beginning of this presentation that didn't want to do a pageant and didn't ever imagine that she would have the opportunity to share her love of science with people around the country, that little girl grew up into a woman who was then able to show during a global pandemic how important science was, and to show people, young, old, little boys, little girls, everyone, that science really is all around us every single day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. You are engaging and exciting and inspiring. You have done so much to mentor other young women and men and be a role model, and we really do thank you for that. At SFA, we are building our own pipeline of female role models for other students. So it is my great pleasure to introduce to you some of our high-performing female STEM majors, our role models, our women in STEM, wearing fashion from the townhouse.
afternoon. My name is Carly Hopper. I'm an engineering physics major, and I also work at TxDOT as an engineer tech. There, I hope to further my career as an engineer and hopefully obtain my professional engineer license. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Megan Brzezinski. I'm a senior in the SFA nursing program, and I'm set to graduate this May. I plan to move to Houston, Texas, and pursue a career in a neonatal intensive care unit.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Barbara Keme, and I'm from Ghana in West Africa. I'm in my final semester of graduate school at SFA, and I'm studying geology. I'm interested in using opportunities that explore mineral exploration using geological methods. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Madeline Lachele and I'm a current mathematics major with minors in astronomy and physics. After graduation, I plan to pursue higher education and eventually I will become an astrophysicist. In 2020, I was a recipient of the Women in STEM Scholarship, and it's due to people like you here today that me and so many other women are able to follow their dreams. So thank you.
Hi y'all, I'm Kyra Birkenfeld. I am a junior physics major with engineering and mathematics minors. At SFA, I've enjoyed participating in undergraduate research as well as the Society of Physics students. And I plan to graduate in May of 2022 to continue into this field. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Meredith Clayton. I'm a math major and part of the SFA track and field team. This summer I have plans to do applied statistics research at Georgia Tech. I graduate in December of 2021, and after that I plan to pursue a PhD in applied mathematics.
Howdy, my name is Mary Catherine Campos. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I graduated Texas A&M 2019. I'm currently a master's student in the Department of Geology. My research interests include volcanology, geochronology, and igneous metamorphosis ecology. After I finish my studies here, I aim to continue my education and study towards a PhD. Thank you.
Tiana Bruins. I'm from Trinity, Texas. At the end of this semester, I'll be graduating from SFA with a bachelor's in biochemistry. I plan on pursuing a career in pharmacy so that I can participate in research and clinical drug development.
Hi, my name is Victoria Carlson. I am a computer science student planning on graduating in December. After I graduate, I plan on being a back-end software developer.
Hello everyone, my name is Riley Latham. I'm a junior cellular and molecular biology major, and when I complete my studies at SFA, I plan to attend medical school.
Hello, my name is Hannah Simmons. I'm a senior biology pre-med student here at SFA. I plan to graduate in May and attend medical school in the near future. I am a current Women in STEM Scholar recipient, and I just wanted to take the time to thank you all so much for your generosity and donations that have enabled women like me to achieve their goals here at SFA. Thank you all so much.